Tom Brady.
TB12.
You ready to talk about his pickle or what?
Let's talk about the Tom Brady pickle. Tom Brady, there's a scenario that's happening that to me, it's very interesting because you think Tom Brady leaves the league and everyone's like, what is he going to do next? Ownership? Is he going to be a broadcaster? Is he just going to be a spokesman for the National Football League? We all debated, what's Tom going to do?
Right.
He ends up signing $300+ million contract with Fox. And
he's knocking Greg Olson down a peg.
yeah, and I like Greg Olson.
And Greg Olson did a great job.
And Greg Olson knows how to party. Did you see the pictures of him at McCaffrey's wedding?
Yeah.
And Danny, you're a Raiders fan, so you're very well aware of Tom Brady's interest in an ownership role.
Yeah, very much so. Mark Davis offered him a discounted rate to be a minority owner, a small percentage.
Wow.
I mean, it's cool to see, though. Good for him. Capable and qualified to do all these things. That's great.
Now, the Tom Brady pickle is simple. I saw Adam Schefter. What do you call it? Adam Shapeshifter?
I call him a shapeshifter, yes.
Adam Schefter put out a list of things that are very interesting because if Tom Brady were to be on television every week with Fox and a partial owner of the Raiders, he's going to be forced to abide by a unique and severe list of restrictions that I don't know how this could even work.
Yeah.
Do you see this story?
Some of them I'm like, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Well, it makes sense.
It's not.
Though.
They're making it up as they go right now.
But it makes sense because it seems to be a slight conflict of interest.
Yeah, I mean, sorry if you thought Tom Brady's pickle was going to be a different conversation. But this is the pickle.
Sorry to let you down, Sam.
Yeah, you guys let me down, not gonna lie.
Sorry, Monty.
I mean, if you're trying to be the lead color commentator for Fox Football, which gets 20+ million viewers a week,
Yeah,
and you want a minority stake ownership in a league that you're broadcasting in, among the restrictions, according to Adam Schefter, Brady would not be able to be in another team's facility.
Right. That one was the one that stood out the most to me.
He's not permitted to witness a practice, which, by the way, it's just where these guys talk to the players and
Correct.
get the inside. And when you hear Chris Collinsworth or Al Michaels or someone dropping a little fun factor
Part of their
nugget,
prep.
that's part of the process.
Yeah. That was his coach who taped practices, not him.
You can't be permitted to witness a practice, and he wouldn't be allowed to attend any broadcast production meeting when you're the lead analyst. Either virtually or in person, a league source said that he couldn't even, on air, make too much criticism about a team because he is part owner of a team.
How's that possible? This is setting him up at a major disadvantage as a broadcaster. These are all important little nuggets that a broadcaster uses to their advantage in a major broadcast.
Now, there are people
you're really setting him up handcuffed on what he can and can't say. Well, Isn't there one more rule? I thought there was 5 specific ones.
I'll try to find the other one. But there is a general sense that they may try to accommodate Brady in some way. Are you one of those sticklers for the rules where you're like, F it, it's Tom Brady, who cares? Or are you on the team of, hey, listen, he's a 7-time Super Bowl winner. It's Tom Brady. His insight on a broadcast would be great. He's got a small stake in the Raiders. Who cares? Like, where do you lie on this? Are you the type of person that would be like, rules are rules, Tom?
I feel like there is a bit of a conflict of interest here. No one person's bigger than the game. Is he above the law here just because he's Tom Brady?
Steven Seagal's above the law.
Steven Seagal style? It's an interesting pickle to be in. I guess this is what you would call good problems. Oh, gee, what's the $300 million broadcaster supposed to do now? Oh, what's the partial owner of the Raiders going to do?
Wait a minute. You were saying I need to choose between $300 million more or be a part owner of a $1 billion team?
These are great problems to have, but it is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, if they abide by the rules and they enforce them on Tom Brady, which I sort of feel they should, then it does limit his knowledge. You're going to get a basic general knowledge of football when he's in the broadcast booth because he's not going that extra mile because he can't. He can't fraternize with the team.
And
he can't be on the ground with them. He can't be in the facility. He can't be doing those things that Rich just described.
Let me give you one name.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you a name.
And by the way, you know who could? Greg Olson and everybody else.
I'm going to give you a name.
But they're not Tom Brady.
And as soon as I say the name, you're going to be like, yep, that was the biggest problem. That name is one Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson had such a hard time because of his personality and being a very likable, charismatic guy. Danny, how many times did he say something out of pocket or talk to a player, but just because he's Magic Johnson? Kevin Burkhardt, recently on a podcast with Carissa Thompson and Aaron Andrews, talked about how now that he's teamed up with Tom Brady, it takes Kevin Burkhardt an extra hour to get to the broadcast booth because everyone wants to stop. Players, personnel, everyone's like, hey, Tom. You can't be talking to all those personnel if you are an owner of a team and a broadcaster.
So now, he's supposed to just put his head down and ignore everybody.
So either they're going to say, Tom Brady, we're going to break the rules because it's you, or this is a real issue.
Here's the real answer. They're going to bend the rules because how are they going to enforce that situation you just described?
Weren't the Lakers, Danny G, recipients of fines at times, and Magic eventually had to be like, this isn't working?
It was a fine line to walk. I mean, the thing with Brady here, it's 7% of the team that he would own. 7%. Now, the Raiders, according to, let's see, the latest Sportico, they value the Raiders right now at around $5.8 billion. Rich, you have a lot of money. What's 7% of that?
I'm trying to do $5.8 billion, and the iPhone calculator doesn't go that many zeros.
You could Google it.
I know.
Now, if Brady owned a substantial
Let's see if it works. Hold on.
part of an NFL team, I think I would be more in line with, rules are rules, or you got to make the rules, hard line on this. But 7%, and is he really, if the NFL office in New York sat down with him and said, look, here's the deal, dude. We want you to have a successful broadcasting career, but here's the line you have to toe. He would do that. It's not like he's going to be inside the Commander's facility and then go run to Mark Davis and be like, oh, guess what I saw written up on a board? I saw this play. Like, is he really going to do that? I don't see Tom Brady doing that.
I hear what you're saying, but I really think the easy option here is that he and Mr. Davis are like, hey, when I'm done with my broadcasting career, can I jump on this opportunity? Because don't you want him to be able to just be a full broadcaster without any restrictions?
Yes, because
even
you're not
for 1
get,
year, like us as fans, right? Don't you want to?
Or just own a team the way we think LeBron is going to do in Las Vegas. This almost feels like they're making him choose this or that.
It does seem that way. I guess I want my cake and eat it too. I want to hear him do that, and then if he wants to be an owner, do that in a couple of years.
Are other owners going to be okay with that?
That after he does his broadcasting?
Yeah, like are they going to bust Brady's chops? Like, hey, he's not allowed to be doing those things, or are they just all great with Tom Brady?
No, I know what you're saying. He's saying like,
you're not saying what I'm saying.
No, you're not saying what she's saying.
No, I'm not saying what she's saying.
Oh no.
I like it.
Yeah, she was saying something completely different. You're saying you're saying other owners.
Yes,
I'm a good listener, Monty. Women always tell me that.
I'm doing math here.
I know. Covino's breaking out the TI-82.
Math is not mathing.
By the way, it's $406 million. 7% of that. So the Fox contract is close to $400 million. His stake in the Raiders is about $400 million. So Tom Brady is talking about 2 gigs where $500 million stake in one possibly, and roughly making $500 million as a broadcaster. So Tom wants this to work. Mm-hmm. I mean, he gave up a lot for it, right? Some would argue a lot.
Yeah.
So,
but at 7%, he's not gonna be walking around the Raider facility calling shots.
I mean, you say that.
You think he is at 7%?
It's not that it's the 7%. It's the fact that it's Tom Brady.
Any other business though, 7%, you're a quiet.
I don't disagree.
Owner.
I
but
think
Danny,
it's
not
7%.
It's not 7% of a Subway sandwich shop.
Right,
7% of the Raiders.
I understand that. And look, there's a lot of Raider Nation I saw yesterday reacting to this by saying, "Oh, good. Didn't want him involved in our organization anyways." My take, why would you not want Tom Brady involved in your organization? The dude is a straight winner and a baller.
I'm glad you said that, because if someone, Covino, is as competitive, you've seen the documentaries, you know Tom Brady, you've seen the motivational speeches he's been doing lately, right? Talking about every kid should play football and winning and learning. Tom Brady's the most competitive guy. If teams pick up junk players off of waivers, or in football, didn't Mike White just get picked up on the practice squad to the Bills?
I think so.
They did that likely to be like, tell us about the Dolphins and what Mike McDaniel's doing. There's strategies all the time. If you don't think Tom Brady gets a little peek at something inside a locker room in a conference room, why would he not go back to the team that he has a stake in?
No, absolutely.
It's a conflict of interest.
Major conflict of interest here, even if it's only 7%. You made me think of something completely different, too. You know how the Yankees got Jazz Chisholm? Or why they got Jazz Chisholm?
Why?
Because Derek Jeter had great insight on the type of guy and player he was. And he's no longer with Miami, but they went to their guy, and they're like, tell us about him. He's like, yo, you got to get this dude. He's electric. He'll be great here in New York. And he endorsed them. And that's the sort of inside knowledge and insight that type of guy would have. And that's where the pickle lies. What do you think about Tom Brady's pickle?
Should he be able to do both?